Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Thursday, March 5. One medical doctor is raising concern that should the deadly COVID-19 virus reach Barbados' shores and workers have to stay away from work for a while, they might not be paid. Furthermore, Dr. Abdon De Silva, the president of the Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners, fears that this could force doctors to write sick leave certificates under pressure. He made the observation while addressing a public meeting at the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center on Wednesday evening under the theme, Coronavirus, Epidemic, Pandemic, or Panicdemic.
Big challenge is if you have a lot of people who are home. As far as I know, there's no legislation in Barbados that allows you to be paid. Certainly the National Insurance has advised me they're not going to pay you for quarantine. And there's no policy at the Labor Department to address the issue. So it is probably going to put doctors under pressure to write certificates. And it is probably perhaps more, what should I say, let me just rephrase that. What we don't want is for people who don't know if they're going to be paid to come to work with somebody at home who's sick. We really don't want that to happen.
The meeting was designed to educate the public on the best practices to prevent the virus, which emerged in China in late December last year and has so far spread to close to 90 countries and territories. Close to 100,000 cases have been recorded globally, and there have been just over 3,350 deaths. De Silva urged Barbadians not to panic, but to be prepared.
Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. And it's important to know that your hands are not just your palms. There's a component on the back of your hand and between your fingers that you should wash. And it is said that you should sing happy birthday to me twice. And if you don't have soap, the alternative is to use an alcohol-based sanitizer. It has at least 60% alcohol. And you must try to protect others, so if you think you have the virus infection, you should contact your healthcare provider.
Meanwhile, Senior Medical Officer Dr. Arthur Phillips gave the assurance that the country has adequate supplies of medical items and protective gear should the need arise.
It is not expected that we will run out, but in addition to our regular supply chains, there are alternative supply chains, including through PAHO. They have stockpiles of all kinds of PPE. So if push comes to shove, we've already started to have this discussion about Ministry of Health acquiring and how we would engage with the private sector should the private sector need and not be able to obtain otherwise. So that's already in our discussions.
The promised expansion of the Accident and Emergency Department at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital will get underway on Monday. The project, expected to last 14 months, will be conducted under 3 phases. Phase 1 will entail the preparatory work, while Phase 2 will see the construction of a new 9,000 square feet single-story reinforced concrete building to the north of the existing Accident and Emergency Department. The new building will feature a 3-vehicle ambulance bay on the building's eastern side. The final phase will entail the installation of new partitions, ceilings, floor finishes, light and air conditioning system. This phase will conclude by joining the renovated space with a new accident and emergency building to create an 18,000 square feet facility. The shallow draft in Bridgetown has been earmarked for an upgrade by the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Blue Economy. Word of this comes from Senator Lisa Cummins, who is also chairman of the Barbados Port Inc. The senator was speaking during the Appropriation Bill 2020 in the House of Assembly last evening when she outlined the plans.
We have found obviously a high level of demand for yachting services, and not just yachting for the purpose of moving pleasure for pleasure craft moving, but also the maintenance and the dry docking of those boats for the persons who are the mariners on them. And so we have just, I believe 2 Fridays ago, closed the first expression of interest for the expansion of the shallow draft marina, and our tenders and procurement committee meeting will take place within the next 2 weeks or so, where we will be receiving and reviewing the expressions of interest for a new design and new build format for the shallow draft facility in Bridgetown.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
To regional happenings, all eyes on Guyana as the Election Commission has released results for Region 4 in the general and regional elections. And if certified, the incumbent APNU-AFC coalition has won the general elections. GCOM's Public Relations Officer Yolanda Ward sent images of a statutory declaration Form 24. The form shows the incumbent party securing 136,335 votes, while the opposition People's Party Civic has earned 77,258, a difference of 59,077. Assuming that these results and those for the other 9 regions are mirrored at the general elections, President David Granger would have won the elections by an excess of 7,000 votes or 1 seat. Ward released the information almost 1 hour after the returning officer for Region 4, Claremont Mingo, was served with an injunction preventing him from declaring results without completing a verification process which has been stalled all day. PPP General Secretary Barrett Jagdeo served notice they will not be accepting these results.
This is totally fake. Pay no attention to this. These are not the real results. Check the SOPs yourself for Region 4. People are smart in this country. They can read, see our tabulation, and go and look at the source document, and then you will find what they are. So let me see how they're going to get away from all these SOPs now. Let GCOM produce the SOPs to support this, the statements of poll. So if we have a recount now, you will not find any of these. So I suspect their next move would be to deny the recount.
Are you going to call for one?
Yeah, now that the declaration has been made, we don't have a choice but to do that, to make a request for a recount, because they will try, if we don't do that, then they can go ahead and say the PPP didn't request anything. We're going to request a recount in all the boxes. If we can't get it, a declaration on the basis of which ones were altered, because normally they'd have to call it out and then say the numbers. We can then make an annotation on which ones we need to request the recount.
On to politics on the international front. In the United States, Elizabeth Warren ended her presidential campaign today after concluding she had no realistic path to the Democratic nomination. She leaves behind a 2-man battle between former Vice President Joe Biden and U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders. More in this report from Reuters Television.
She was once the front-runner in the race to become the Democratic nominee, but on Thursday, Elizabeth Warren ended her bid to become the President of the United States.
I will not be running for president in 2020, but I guarantee I will stay in the fight.
Warren on Thursday said she would not be throwing her support to any other candidate just yet.
Well, let's take a deep breath and spend a little time on that. We don't have to decide that this minute.
The progressive senator from Massachusetts emerged as a top Democratic contender for the White House on the strength of an anti-corruption platform backed by a dizzying array of policy proposals.
It's time for a wealth tax in America.
A former bankruptcy law professor who forged a national reputation as a scourge of Wall Street even before entering politics, she centered her campaign on battling the influence of money in politics. Warren had banked on a strong showing on Super Tuesday after a string of disappointing finishes in the early states. But she didn't finish in the top 2 in any of the 14 states that voted on Super Tuesday, and even placed 3rd in her own state.
I have no regrets at all. This has been the honor of a lifetime.
Warren often seemed caught in the middle of the Democratic battle for hearts and minds, unable to peel away enough liberal support from Bernie Sanders or convince enough centrists that she could broaden her appeal.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.